Bang, da-da-bang, da-da-bang. The drumbeat still thrummed through Sila's veins as she weaved her way back home. The raw pink of dawn promised a blistering heat, and Sila tilted her head and basked in the sun's rays. The trinkets in her braids chimed. She ran her tongue over the joba seed tucked in the gap between her front teeth. The warmth induced by the seed was dissipating, leaving her cold. Hugging her arms to her chest, she noticed for the first time she held an empty bottle of fire rum. She threw it at the wall of a derelict villa, which was filmed with blue sand. It had been a strong wind last night. At times, its pounding had even eclipsed the drums. But not the drumbeat in her memory. Bang, da-da-bang, da-da-bang. The sound came again, and with it, an unmistakable tremor of fear that woke people from their beds. Now Sila listened and realized she knew the cadence of the rhythm, and it wasn't from the song in her mind. It was the pounding of the starting drum, indicating the beginning of a trial. It was the sound of death. Bang, da-da-bang, da-da-bang. Dredge dwellers began to seep out of their decrepit homes and stream toward Dredge Square. Sila found herself being carried along in the current. The square was full of dusters and ghostings, blurry-eyed from a night of drugs, sex, or alcohol. Or, in Sila's case, all three. A dozen officers of the Warden Army stood to attention in front of the rack, the wooden device used for executions. Like ripe bruises, the Army's purple uniform was enough to instill fear in anyone north of the Ruta River. Anyone without red blood. Sila spotted Hassa in the crowd and pushed her way toward her. "How's it hurting?" Sila greeted the ghosting girl. Like the beetle she had been named after, Hassa was small with dark eyes. The color was unusual for a ghosting, as light-colored eyes were often a feature of their translucent blood. But it didn't matter if you were a ghosting or a duster. Everyone who lived in the dredge had the same hollowed-out look. It was a mandatory uniform, an expression of squalor and poverty enforced by malnutrition and childhood labor. "You look like shit. Have you even slept?" Hassa signed. Sila ignored Hassa's observation and pointed toward the officers. "Have you seen this guy's talent?" Hassa followed Sila's gaze to the officer with the starting drum strapped to his chest. He was beating the rhythm with absolute dedication, his muscles clenching and releasing with military precision. "He was born to play the drums," Hassa agreed. Sila snorted. "Bet he wanted to join the playhouse, but his mother made him enlist in the army. Poor little Ember." Hassa smiled, revealing the spongy flesh of her severed tongue. Her tongue, like her severed hands, had been taken from her at 2 moon cycles, like they were for every ghosting in the Empire. Their limbs and tongues were cut off and sent to the wardens to tally against the number of ghosting births as a penance for a rebellion 400 years old. As a result, ghostings had developed a complex language that used all elements of their body. It was a subtle language, one invented in defiance of the rulers that still condemned them. The drum stopped, though the vibrations of dread rippled out for moments afterward. The captain, identified by his striped green kente epaulettes, stepped forward. "In the name of the 4 wardens blessed by Anyame, our god in the sky, we bring forth the accused." A prisoner in shackles was brought forward between the officers' ranks. Sila inhaled sharply between her teeth. "Agrio." "They raided his villa a few strikes ago, no warning," Hassa signed. "He told his final story last night." Sila vaguely remembered Agrio entering the Maroon, but she had been preoccupied with chewing a record number of joba seeds. "What did they get him for?" "Writing letters." "Bastards." "Bastards," Hassa agreed, using her left wrist against her shoulder in a slashing motion.